This is Dr. Eric. We are in our video podcast, and it's called Your Daily Dose. And your daily dose of vitamin CBD. And we're here tonight to talk a little bit about plant-based diets, and something that I want you to give consideration to. Um, and one of those plants is called cannabis sativa L, and that plant is known as the cannabis plant, and it has gone through a big historical up and down. And we're on the upside right now because when I started medical school, it was not illegal. But by the time I finished medical school, it was illegal, and it was a federal crime, not a state crime, but a federal crime, because the president of the United States made the Controlled Substance Act and made cannabis sativa L one of the whole species, and that's what was so ironic about it, because um, it had been classified as as two. It was something called industrial hemp, that it was used as an agricultural crop for a long period of time, but then it got vilified with the advent of the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937, and then it got criminalized by President Nixon later on. Now, the I read an article today in regards to plant-based diets, and um, I think that and the other aspect that I've known about for some period of time, and that is dairy products. Um, this I joined the organization Doctors for Concerned Medicine, and it's really medicine has evolved a great deal since I went in back in 1970 when I started medicine. It was everybody's fountain of youth. It was the omega and the epsilon. Why? Because we wanted to live forever. We wanted to find the fountain of youth. So it was very, very important, your relationship with your doctor. And don't forget, back then the doctors smoked in the hospital. They smoked in their doctor's offices. There were doctors that I remember seeing that made rounds, going from patient room to patient room with a cigarette in their mouth. And some of it was, the culture. And the tobacco companies denied for many years that it was deleterious to their health. And then the tobacco companies got caught with their pants down, and we went into a non-smoking type of arena. And today you have designated smoking places. You can't smoke on planes. There are some bars, I think, that there's still, but back in the day, you go to a sports club or a bar, you wouldn't be able to see yourself because there'd be so much smoke in the air. So so we were learning, but we tend to forget somewhat as well. I read you last night. I read you a testimonial from one of our patients that has been on our vitamin CBD oil, and it's just absolutely riveting to see the success that she's had in taking this. I have another patient. I call my customers patient. I have another customer patient that has cut his metformin in half. I have other people with diabetes that have stabilized their diabetes. Their sugars are much, much better. How much is enough is going to be the question that's going to be answered as we go down the line. I have a call on Friday. I have a young lady out of Chicago that wants to be able to try to put the if, why, and when to each of our products, each of our SKUs. Hi, Jenna. It is very difficult to, you can't make, number one, you can't make medical claims. Number one, because cannabis sativa L is not, well, it does, there's a drug that has been patented. But House Bill 8179 is trying to make CBD a supplement, as I think it should be, because it can supplement the phytocannabinoid system that we have that has been in deprivation for some time because we took hemp out of our pharmacopoeia. We took hemp out of our agricultural society. We took hemp out of society as a whole. We turned it into a crime, and it has incarcerated millions of young men and women. Unfortunately, many of them black and brown, 85% black and brown. So now this has been flipped over. The coin has been flipped over as of October the 20th of 2018. Hemp with less than 0.3 THC, and that's 9-delta tetrahydrocannabinoid. That's, everybody knows it as THC, and everybody knows that it's the psychogenic component, and that's what has held people in reserve for so many years. But the research is starting to light up. Now, the article that I read today was talking about food-based, a plant-based diet, and let me just tell you that we learned that they also encourage not to drink, not to stay away from dairy products. These are physicians that understand that we are the only industrialized society in the world that drinks milk after infancy. Think about that. And we even use it as a fortified situation for, we used it to fortify our vitamin D. We put vitamin D in the milk, and we put it all over the label, and kind of mandated people to take it because they needed a source of vitamin D. I mean, they could have put it into pudding. They could have put it into a multitude of other things. I'm not sure if it was politicized or whatever, but I drink my milk, and I love milk, and I love chocolate milk. I even got a Whippet for chocolate milk. Many years ago, the milkman used to come by and drop milk every day or twice a week in the box that sat at the corner of your house or on the curb or near the end of your driveway. And I took it upon myself one day to order some chocolate milk when the milkman came. Well, that was that was not the right thing to do. But I learned very quickly, after I was reprimanded. I didn't order any more. But we still are a big milk drinking society, and they recommend that you get into a non-dairy format, and that it's much better for us. The same thing with the plant milk. Okay, coconut milk, many other types of milks out of the plant base are classified. Now, I'm using this talk tonight just to emphasize the fact that there's good, bad, and ugly in the whole dietary component, and because cannabis was taken out of our diet, we can have serious consequences. Just like if we don't have enough folate, you get neural tube defects in children, and we've almost eliminated that today because the prenatal vitamins are loaded with plenty of folate, and that is a supplement that we need. And I believe that we're in cannabinoid deprivation, and I believe that we need to take this CBD, which I have named it as a vitamin, because a vitamin is any substance, look it up, a vitamin is any substance that helps to accentuate the efficacy of a biological system. What you must understand there is that the biological system of the endocannabinoid system was discovered in 1993, but because of the illegality that it was wrapped in, it did not become a authorized or recognized biological system that could be taught in medical school and professional schools until December the 20th of 2018. So you see that it stopped many different maneuvers because of the illegality that hemp, that cannabis sativa L held for such a long time. But having a plant-based diet is pretty darn important. They think that it can help reduce prostate cancer, general cancer, that it can help with a number of different diseases. And we know that, and I was telling you the story that back in Vietnam, we lost so many young men, 19, 20 years old. When they did autopsies, they found that they had arteriosclerosis at 20. And that's where we evolved to start doing 2%, 1%, and 2% milk. Before that, whole milk is 20% fat. 20% fat. So we implemented, the utilization of the 2% and 1% milk, which maybe has helped a good deal. But the plant-based diet has proven to be very, very healthy. Now, one of the things that I did 44 years ago, 1976, 44 years ago, was that I stopped eating red meat. I knew what I knew, and my father had passed away from a dissecting thoracic aneurysm, and at 62, and I said I can do better. I said I got to do better, and I was 27, 28 years old at the time, and I said, what can I do? This is the same question I ask you every night about what can you do to help somebody else and help yourself. Okay, during this COVID-19 epidemic and pandemic. So I decided to give up red meat, and so I've been free of red meat for 44 years now. And I knew from some of my medical school studies that Japan had one of the lowest incidence of rectal colon cancer in the world until McDonald's got there. And so, maybe their stomachs weren't adjusted, couldn't deal with the meat. I'm not sure what it was, but they had an exponential rise in rectal colon cancer. So anytime that I don't have any desire, for steaks or roast beef or pot roast, so I'm a fish and chicken kind of guy, and I think it's served me well. Okay, all of my colonoscopies thus far have been good, and I think that it takes so long. Now, when I was in college, we used to have steak and eggs before meals, and they want to know why we played so poorly. Well, all that steak is still sitting in the stomach. Okay, I mean, we didn't eat before we went and practice. We had a game table after. We had a team table where we ate after practice, where you were, hungry as hell because you had just spent 3 hours running the floor. So very interesting, to say the least, that we reversed that process on game day, and we ate, before the game. And so, today it's like pasta. It's something that's high in carbohydrates that can be converted, because it takes 8 to 10 hours, I believe, to digest some of these meats and based protein. So we can get our protein from plants, and I want you to take something that comes from one of the major plants called cannabis sativa L. So let's see if you can get my credo down. Have you had your daily vitamin CBD today to help reduce your chronic low-grade inflammation to support your immune system? If you haven't, go to www.dailyvitamincbd.com. Please share this. Please like this. We are trying to grow our brand. Our brand is really an experience. I was going to show you tonight, I think I did, I'm trying to put up on Facebook the picture of the wild Maine blueberries. We have moved them from 20 milligrams to 30 milligrams. There's 450 milligrams per jar. And then we also have a 30 count jar, which has 900 milligrams. And what I have to tell people about nanotechnology and nanoemulsion is to cut these gummies in half to start with. Yeah, unless you take a larger dose of CBD, you're going to get 4 times the amount that you normally get from a non-emulsified, non-nanoed product. So we you get 3 to 4 times your bang for your buck, so to speak, or you get your bioavailability to absorb your phytocannabinoids into your body so that your system can work in an optimal fashion. Okay, well that's enough, and I just supported the whole aspect with a plant-based diet. Um, Helps to eliminate diabetes, helps to control obesity, helps with heart disease. There are many, many, many things that they're good about. So I'm not trying to make you a vegan or have you go without your meat, but give it some serious consideration. That's why I come to you. Please take care of yourself. Please take care of your fellow um, neighbor, your fellow loved ones. Call them. The anxiety and depression is going up, up, up. Now that we're in this second phase or third phase or a continuation of the first phase, please be careful. Please wear your mask, be protective, and we'll come back and reckon with this, hopefully 2 years from now, 3 years from now. But we want you to be here, and I want to be here. Okay, so please, thank you, and out.